What's going on, Birdland? Stephen Heckman here for the Final Strike podcast, brought to you by the Baltimore Battery. I know we said we were going to have a special guest this week, but unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we had to push that, and we will delay that till next week. So tune in next week to see who our special guest is. I promise you will enjoy it, and it will be a fun time. Anytime we can talk Baltimore baseball with fellow Baltimore baseball fans and podcasters is awesome and a great time. But anyway, here we are today. Baltimore Orioles wrap up their series against the San Francisco Giants with a 6-2 victory, taking the series 2-1. And the Orioles actually are 8-7 with their first winning record since they started last season, 3-2. So there's some silver lining here amongst all the black clouds that seem to be forming over Baltimore with the fluke and interesting injuries that are occurring. Our IL currently sits with 12 players on it. Most recently added is Ryan Mountcastle, who broke his fourth metatarsal yesterday while he was running. According to one of my good friends, Nathan, he says it literally looked like he was shot by a sniper the way he fell and tumbled. Fortunately, bad news. Of course, a lot of us are still kind of wondering what the deal is with Ryan Mountcastle. What, was the hope that he'd have a strong season to use as trade bait, or what was going to happen? Because he technically is under contract this year, and I think, if I'm correct, we do have an option year on his contract, so we can pick that up next year. He becomes a free agent. Then you have Adley Rutschman, who went on the IL with ankle soreness. The MRI came back clean, which is good, so it should be a short stay. Zach Eflin before that, Tommy John surgery. Of course, he was returning from back surgery that he had last year that was actually supposed to fix the problems he'd been having with his back over the last few years. So in opportunity to fix one problem, it actually, unfortunately, created a new problem for him. As he reported, he says it felt like somebody shot me through my heart. So for tough deal, we not a huge loss. I mean, I love Zach Eflin, don't get me wrong, his veteran leadership, and he is a pretty decent pitcher who will eat innings for you. But I mean, a lot of us kind of didn't know what was going to happen. Was he going to be a bullpen piece? Was he going to get cut? Could he possibly play in the minors? Were we going to go with a 6-man rotation with Dean Kramer being sent down to the minors and eligible to come back as of April 9th? Things kind of were up in the air. Of course, it did open the door for Brandon Young to come in and make a wonderful start. He was back down pitching for AAA Norfolk today. Cade Povich, the hero of the last game against I can't even think right now. Hero relieving Chris Bassett last time, who pitched 5 2/3 innings of 2-run ball. Came in on his birthday, mind you, and pitched an exceptional game today, going 6 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run, picking up a victory. Cade Povich looks like a different pitcher from last year to this year. Couple things he did to refine a couple of his pitches and change in the way he approaches and his stance. So minor mechanical things, you'd be surprised these things can make huge differences with pitchers. Even cause a difference in the break of the ball, the RPMs, a lot of things. So, that famous kick change, he likes to call it, is looking pretty good. And he went through pretty well today. I mean, his final stat line, let me pick this up real quick. His final stat line today, he's dropped his ERA to 2.19 after today. But Povich's final stat line, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. And this is what I do like the best, is you look at it, 97 pitches, 65 strikes. 65 strikes. That means only 32 balls. That means he had more than half his pitches were called as strikes. And that's how you want it to be. Great thing I love seeing from our pitching staff today is absolutely no walks. None whatsoever. From our batting, we had 5 walks today, 7 strikeouts total. So, interesting here. Basayo hit a home run. Alonzo got going. Alonzo had 2 hits today with 2 RBIs. His batting average is on the way up. Boom, he's at 190 after today. Sammy Basseo, boom, he's at 150 after today with his 2 home runs, or his 2-run home run. Gunnar Henderson, it seems like Taylor Ward and Gunnar Henderson have just been the spark plugs of the team. Hitting 356 at the time after going 2 for 4 with 2 runs and another walk today. Henderson 1 for 5, had another run today. He's batting 242. Both of them are over 900 OPS. Now, the reason I want to bring that up is when you look at the rest of the team, we do not have a member inside the lineup that is, Tavares started today in left field, so I take that back, or center field. He's 962 with a 364 average. But outside of that, there is not a member in our lineup who has a OPS that is higher or above 7. And if I am correct, I could be wrong on this. Dylan Beavers at 678 is probably the highest. So, mirror on the wall, the 2026 season is actually starting to resemble the 2025 season in the fact that the injury bug has creeped around and found us in an awkward situation. I look at the Tyler O'Neill injury today. He was sick, missed a couple games due to a sickness. He was dehydrated. Because of his dehydrated, he fainted, and during his time when he fainted, he hit his head, which put him in the concussion protocol. That's like the Glenn Davis debacle in the late 80s when we traded for him, and he's already on the IL, sitting in the dugout, and gets hit with a foul ball. That's the type of luck we're having here. Ubaldo Jimenez finding the only pothole in Camden Yards parking lot. Still ask Buck Showalter what happened to that pothole because I'm still looking for it. But it's a blessing in disguise, to say the least. Jordan Westberg, don't know when he's coming back. He was supposed to sit down last week and start discuss how they were going to go about a rehab program. He has been throwing the ball, though. So there's a little bit of good news on that front. Jackson Holliday probably will be back maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Last Albert has said he was going to play at least 2 more rehab games, so we'll see. I see him possibly coming back tomorrow, which would be a big boost to our team. So who do you send down? Yeah, and that's the next question. You have Colton Cowles or Kobe Mayo, who a lot of people are screaming for their heads right now, and 15 games is not really a point where you can sit there and say get rid of them. You've got to give these guys time to fix and adjust and take care of what needs to be taken care of in order for them to make the adjustments that's going to help them. One good thing about Kobe Mayo is he has actually cut down on his strikeouts. He might not be getting the ball into play, but he is hitting the ball. And eventually those knocks are going to start falling. He's just having some bad luck with where the ball's going. Colton Cowles, if he don't learn how to hit a changeup or a curveball, I swear he's going to ruin his career. The guy has so much talent, and right now, all anybody is throwing to this guy are his changeup and off-speed pitches. He's having a huge problem hitting them, and if I was a pitcher, there's no way in hell I would throw anything other than changeups and off-speed pitches because he can't hit them. But I will say one thing, I am so tired of watching these games and seeing these batters go up there and watching pitches go straight down the middle of the plate or straight off the edge of the plate, and the bat stays on their shoulder. I've seen more strikeouts this season from our team watching pitches go by on the third strike. I don't know, you guessing or not, I always was told when you go up there, be prepared to hit. Don't guess what the pitcher's going to throw. If you're looking for a pitch, it's fine. But don't sit there and just wait for it to come to you because the pitcher's probably thinking, this guy's expecting this here, and I'm going to try and outfool him to do this. That's when you pick up on the mistakes. That's when you take care of them. Every now and then you're going to get one of these cocky pitchers who's going to try it, and they're going to have a 101-mile-per-hour fastball, and you're going to be looking fastball thinking it's going to come in at 98, and he's going to blow it right by you before you even swing the bat. I would rather you strike out swinging the bat than strike out holding the bat on your shoulder. You ain't a lumberjack. Get the bat off your shoulder. At least make an attempt at it. I mean, geez, the amount of strikeouts we have had this season so far, going into this season, we had 117 strikeouts in 12 games versus 48 walks. 117 strikeouts in 12 games. That's in between 11 to 12 strikeouts a game. I mean, seriously? This year, we should be more prepared for the injuries that we have. 12 men on the IL, yes, I know it's difficult. Knock on wood, the starting pitching has only been hit with Zach Eflin. So I'm okay with that. I like the guy, but we have plenty of pitchers. Cade Povich, Brennan Young, Dean Kramer, who's probably going to be coming up soon here to make his start. Whether we go with a 6-man rotation or not, I don't know. Albert Suarez can always fill into the rotation. Albert Suarez is our little Swiss Army knife pitcher. He can pitch anywhere you want him. He can start, long relief, short relief. He can close. He can set up. He can do it all. Right now, we have pretty good, strong setup in the back part of our pen with Nunez, Cano, Rico Garcia, and Ryan Housley's actually been pretty good. Yeah, he's probably going to do what Jimmy Johnson does and put a batter or two on base, walk that fine tightrope, but as long as he's winning and closing the games for a victory, who cares? If he's not blowing the game, who cares if he's putting a man on base? That's all that matters. If they don't score, he can load the bases every time. If they don't score, I don't care. Earl Weaver's probably stroking out up there in heaven, smoking another pack of cigarettes while he's pitching. But hey, Rico Garcia came in the other day and closed the game out for us. He's proven he can get out of any type of jam you put him in. So it's not like we don't have fallback options. Cano's back to looking like Yennier Cano, which is great. Grant Wolfram, he's been one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball. And right now, he's pretty much the only true lefty we have in the bullpen. Yes, we did trade and bring in another lefty, once Aiken went down, and then drawing a blank, the other lefty went down. We have the depth to overcome it this time. Blaze Alexander we traded for, which happened to be the day before we found out about Jackson Holiday. And then shortly after that, Jordan Westberg, which Kobe Mayo transitioned over there pretty well. He's done a pretty good job. Blaze Alexander has done a tremendous job helping out at second and third base, even shortstop. Give Gunnar a time off in the field. Jeremiah Jackson has done pretty serviceable over at second base. So it's not like we haven't had options to be able to fill in. What worries me now is with Adley Rutschman and Mountcastle out, you got Pete Alonzo and Samuel Paseo who are going to be doing a little bit more time in the field. Yes, we did bring up Maverick Hanley, which waiting to see him make his major league debut is going to be awesome. Well, he's actually already made his debut, but he'll get into a game. But you don't have the ability to put Paseo, at first base now to give him a breather from behind the plate, because Pete Alonso's got nobody backing him up. Now, in a pinch, you can put, Kobe Mayo back over there, but I don't want to mess up what Kobe Mayo has been doing. He's been playing pretty good defense over at third base. Now, if we can get his bat going, it'd be pretty good. It'd be a good roundabout. But, we have the ability to withstand these injuries, like in the outfield. We had Dylan Beavers as our fourth outfielder. We had Leody Tavares out there. And, on top of that, you had Tyler Ward, who's been having a hell of a season so far. You still have Colton Cowser, which I don't know what's wrong with the milkman, but he's got to figure it out because he's going to find himself back in AAA soon if he doesn't. It was a magical season for him 2 years ago, but that magic's rubbed off pretty quick, and now people are ready to get rid of him. The only problem is he going to turn into another Kyle Stowers? Not to mention, you still have Heston Kjerstad, who's going to come off the IL too. So these are good problems to have. Nobody wants to have your team injured, but getting Jackson Holiday back will be a big boost. Getting Jordan Westberg back will be a great big boost, and hopefully when he comes back, we can get a healthy Jordan Westberg back because there's too much of a pattern there. And same thing with Ryan Mountcastle. We have too much of a pattern going on there with injuries that are piling up, and as much as I love Jordan Westberg, as much as I enjoy Ryan Mountcastle, why pay a guy to sit on the IL? We did that with Glenn Davis. And we gave up boatload for Glenn Davis. So in case anybody wasn't around for that, we gave up Kurt Schilling, Pete Harnish, and Steve Finley for Glenn Davis. And that made Glenn Davis the highest paid baseball player. And he spent more time on the IL in Baltimore than he did playing games. Also, didn't hit half as many home runs as he hit when he was with the Astros in the NL. That's how long ago this was. The Astros were an NL team at the time. Go figure. But I digress. Orioles offense looks like it's starting to wake up. Gunnar Henderson has been on fire lately. Between Tyler Ward and Gunnar Henderson, that's pretty much been the offense. Everybody else has been struggling, and it's good to see that Pete Alonzo finally is getting the bat going, because those three going at the same time is just nothing but butter. It is. It's nothing but butter. And you can't ask for anything better than that. You know, you get Ward, Henderson, and Alonzo going, the rest of your lineup just needs to, hit here and there, walk, get on base. I'd love Tyler O'Neill to be back and healthy. Actually was doing pretty decent for us at that time, staying healthy until now. Now stupid sickness causes him to be dehydrated and he falls down and gets a concussion. Talk about fluke injuries that happen to our team. It just makes no sense. It's like Jackson Holiday. Batting practice the week before spring training. Doesn't even get touched. Broke the hamate bone in his wrist. Or in his hand. I mean, seriously. What are the baseball gods doing to us? That's what I gotta know. What are the baseball gods doing to us? Florida Keys have been off to a good start, which is great. I love it. Norfolk's struggling to find their identity. Pitching's kind of a little bit all over the place. Offensively, Creed Willems has been pretty much the best offensive player since the start of the season. The other day, we did have an organizational sweep. Learn my words. Words aren't wording. But we did have an organizational sweep. That's great when that happens. But, we need to get some of these younger guys going so we can figure out what we're going to do with some of these players on our team. Gunnar Henderson says he's up into an extension, but it's going to be a hefty amount of money to get the guy. I'm still back to where I said 10 years and $600 million is going to be what it's going to take. I don't know what the Orioles offered him, but he did say he's open to an extension. So, I mean, even if it's 5 years for $300 million, I'll take it. I just don't want to lose Gunnar Henderson. I'd love to keep Adley around, but I mean, we have a chain of catchers in the minors that our history with catchers is just great. Go back to Rick Dempsey, Mickey Templeton. Then you had Chris Hoyles, Jeff Tackett, Pudge Rodriguez, Charles Johnson. Didn't have Pudge Rodriguez, excuse me. Charles Johnson, Javi Lopez, Matt Wieters. So it's great. Trevor Rogers has been everything we advertised him to be and more. Guy's been phenomenal for us. He easily could be 3-0 right now. Kyle Bradish kind of looked a little bit more like Kyle Bradish's last time out, so maybe he's getting things figured out under control. His fastball's still a little wanky, but I think a lot of that is more he's just getting used to the rhythm again. Remember, he didn't pitch for a good amount of time, and then he only had a short time back last year before the season ended. So then it shut down for a little bit before you start ramping things up. So, over the last 2 years, he didn't throw as much as he's used to. So he's just got to get himself back into the rhythm and routine of doing that. And knowing Kyle Bradish, he will be fine. Trust me, he will be fine. He is the co-ace of this team. Shane Baz looked really good his last 2 outings. Love to see that because after the extension we signed him to, there's plenty of potential with the guy. The guy has the potential that we looked for in Grayson Rodriguez. And sad to say, Grayson Rodriguez is on the IL over in Los Angeles with a dead arm. But Elias knew something, and one of those shrewd moves Elias made that shows he can be just as shrewd as anybody out there. So Chris Bassett actually looked a little bit better yesterday, but just could not get could not give us 5 innings. He can't give us 5 innings, which is horrible. I mean, this is a guy who's supposed to be able to eat innings, and we can't even get him past the 5th inning. We can't get him through the 5th inning. 4 2/3. 4 2/3. That's his highest total so far this season. 4 2/3. We need to get him under control. Hell, Cade Povich is already went 5 2/3 and 6 2/3 in two outings, and one of them was in relief of him. So Cade Povich is already doing better than Bassett, and he only has one start. I don't know. It's hard to believe the Orioles are 8-7 the way you hear me talking here, but we are. We're 8-7, and I definitely am happy to hear that. But I want to know what's going on that we're struggling with these injuries. This injury bug. We have a new training staff and everything. We are actually in a 3-way tie with the Tampa Bay Rays, the New York Yankees, and us at 8-7. The Yankees, remember we was talking about that hot start they were off to? They've lost 5 in a row. Tampa Bay's won 3 in a row. Toronto's lost 2 in a row. Toronto ain't been the same since we got swept by the White Sox. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. The Yankees are 1-5 against teams better than 500. There you go. How do you like that? So they're beating up the small guys, but they can't beat up the big guys. We're 3-3 against teams better than 500. Just throwing that out there. Tampa Bay is 5-1. So we're 6-4 in our last 10. We won another series. It was a struggle to get through, the series before with the sweep, but we've come back. 5 of the last 6 we've won. Can't complain about that. 8-7 is definitely better than you'd think we would be with the 12 members of our team on the IL. I remember when everybody said we needed another pitcher still. We have the depth that's able to counteract that this time. But I do foresee Elias making some type of move. I do foresee him bringing in another pitcher. I'm hoping Dean Kramer comes in and gives us the Dean Kramer we're used to. He does have 7+ ERA in the month of April for his career. So, hopefully he comes in and gives us that killer Dean look, that zoned in look. He's going to give you 3-4 runs a game, but he's also going to give you 6 or 7 innings. He's an inning eater, and he's going to keep you in the game. And when it matters most, he'll pitch his guts out for you. So we're going to see what happens. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. We got to get this situation under control with all these injuries, especially these fluke injuries. But I think getting Jackson Holliday back is a good thing because he's going to help our team out tremendously. He'll slot in, hopefully, 1 or 2 spot, and then you get Tyler Ward, and then you have Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonzo, and so forth. I mean, that's a good top 4 right there. And if Henderson takes a step forward that everybody's projecting him to take, it's going to be pretty good for our lineup. Especially if Basayo starts hitting the way he smacked the ball today. Whew. So good things are happening. Even as we struggle in some areas, 8-7 was nothing to be ashamed at. Good things are happening, but the baseball gods need to take those rain clouds away from us and get rid of the injuries because, whew, you got to wonder at a time, is it going to cause frustration for the team or is it going to cause frustration for a player who's going to demand to be out of the situation because they don't want to be surrounded by a club that's always got injured players? Those are concerns that I think about. And if I'm thinking about that as a non-player, imagine what players like Gunnar Henderson are thinking about. Pete Alonzo. This is not what they signed up for. This is not what they agreed to. They thought things were going to be different. We were going to be World Series contenders, and yet it's not happening. So do these teams express the desire for trade, or these players express desires for trades or desires to get out? Those are the kind of things I'm worried about. Trevor Rogers is a free agent, yet we have still yet to do an extension with him, and look at the season he's already started off with. Get this guy locked up. These are the things, you've locked up Baz, you've locked up Baseo. Key component you want to build around, but are you only building around those two players? We apparently approached Gunnar Henderson with an extension, but we don't know what. But I'm telling you, this injury detail if it continues to happen, this carousel of injuries, it's going to take its toll. And it's not just going to be on the team. It's going to be on individual players, and it's going to start costing players their desire to want to be here or come here, because people are going to first look at the medical staff, and they're going to look at the medical training on what's causing this problem. It's like last year, one of the things me and the boys talked about in the Baltimore Battery was, all the arm injuries, the Tommy John surgeries, and the lat injuries. It seemed to be a trickle-down effect all through the system. What was going on that was causing it? Then on the player side, you had oblique and hamstring injuries. Those are all things that, lat, oblique, hamstring, those are all stretching, proper stretching. So, those are questions that you've got to look at. Your agent's going to actually make you look at and even consider. Do you want to go to a team that's always got a bunch of its players always injured? Key players at that. So, something to chew on. What do you all think? What is your all's opinion of the season so far? What is your all's opinion of, how the IL's unfolded and what we're doing? Do you think that the depth is being tested too much? Do you think that we have enough depth to actually withstand this? What are your thoughts? What do you think we need to do to move forward to progress past this? Jackson Holiday coming back will be a big thing, but then we still have to worry about when and if Jordan Westburg's coming back. Tyler O'Neill. Is this going to be a routine pattern? Because he actually started out and looked pretty good this season. He looked in good shape and it looked like he was having fun and everything. So this fluke injury, is that going to be a downfall spiral for him? Ryan Mountcastle, you're talking 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 8 to 10 weeks, and then he's got to get in rehab. So, even hoping he had a good enough season where he could be a trade bait, that's probably out the window right now. And at this point, I don't see us picking up his option. And if Creed Williams keeps doing what he's doing down in the minor leagues, Adley Rutschman might be a trade piece. And I know a lot of pundits have actually said Adley Rutschman might be traded this year. It's quite possible. With all the catchers we have down in the minors, if they're all producing good enough, it just might happen. So some thoughts for you to chew on and ponder until next time. Hopefully next Sunday we have technical difficulties all figured out and we have our special guest appear, because I tell you what, it was going good and fun today when we were talking. So I know you all are going to enjoy the conversation we have and who it is. So please tune in next Sunday as well. Please make sure you like, share, follow, and comment. You can find us on Instagram, X, John Blanks, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube at SRJ Heckman. On X, formerly Twitter, you can also find at @thefinalstrike_. And then you have the Baltimore Battery, which is on TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, as the @the Battery. Don't forget to check out the BaltimoreBattery.com. Check out all the new articles that are coming out. We have the prospect piece, Prospects of the Week, from the beginning of the season. Zach's had a few wonderful articles come out. You have Thursday Thoughts by Justin that just came out. You have the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that I just wrote coming out. So Jared's, I got a few more articles that have come out. Jared's actually pounding out the articles. He's making us look bad as writers. Just keep that in mind. Our chief and editor is actually making us look bad. But anyway, head over to the BaltimoreBattery.com and give it a look. Let us know what you like there. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you'd like to hear more about. Let me know what you want us to talk about. Also, make sure you follow us on YouTube, because we're working on getting enough people there that we can actually do a live stream and get you all involved, where we can answer questions live why we record the podcast. So we really love that to happen. So please make sure you like, share, and follow. Please make sure you follow us on YouTube. It's free. There's no charge to follow us. So check us out on where any podcasts are available also. So until next time, Birdland, please give a special shout out to the Baltimore Battery, because without them, I wouldn't be here. Special shout out to Advanced Mobility Solution, formerly Scooters for Rent. If you're down in the Maryland, Delaware, Eastern Shore area, and you're looking for mobility products, from mobility scooters, wheelchairs, which run from handicap, regular wheelchairs, beach wheelchairs, and electric wheelchairs. Or if you're looking for lift chairs because you just can't sleep in the beds in the condo or the hotel, they take care of that too. Tell them Steven from the Final Strike sent you. Till next time, Birdland, I want to give a big thanks to you, because we would not be here without you. And please keep that beer cold. Keep rooting for the O's. Peace out.